The Indus Valley Civilization sprawled across a massive geographical footprint, encompassing parts of modern-day India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Its settlements were concentrated along the fertile banks of the Indus and the ancient Saraswati river systems. This map shows the extreme absolute boundaries of that territory. The civilization stretched from Manda in the north down to Daimabad in the south, and from Alamgirpur in the east all the way west to Sutkagendor. Through carbon-14 dating, archaeologists have identified the civilization's peak, known as the Integration Era, as a highly synchronized window between 2600 and 1900 BC. What makes this timeframe remarkable is the sheer speed of development. Over a span of roughly 100 years, these large-scale urban centers exploded into existence across the entire region. Scattered agrarian villages rapidly evolved into a tightly woven, pan-regional network of complex cities. If we look at contemporary Bronze Age superpowers, they relied heavily on projecting absolute authority. Egypt, for example, poured its immense resources into monumental tributes built to secure the eternal legacy of individual pharaohs. Over in Mesopotamia, the landscape was dominated by massive ziggurats, erected specifically to project the dominance of royal and religious elites. The Indus Valley entirely lacks these structures. There are no grand palaces, there are no royal tombs packed with gold. There is zero archaeological evidence of a standing militaristic army. Instead of vertical monuments to a king, the surviving ruins reveal flat, expansive urban grids. To understand how this society functioned, we have to look past the absence of rulers and decode what they left behind: extreme material standardization, embedded within their city planning, their weights, and their sprawling trade infrastructure. Major settlements like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa follow a strict, unified binary layout. The physical space of the city itself was rigidly categorized. To the west sat the citadel. Constructed on an elevated, fortified earth mound, this area was designed to overlook the landscape, likely serving as a secure hub for administrators. This diagram shows how that citadel is cleanly separated from the much larger lower town to the east, which contained the sprawling residential zones where the general populace lived. The civic engineering here is meticulously deliberate. Main streets ran exactly north to south, while secondary streets cut east to west, intersecting at perfect right angles. The primary arteries were built to a standardized width of 10.5 meters. That commitment to precise measurement extended down to the micro-level building blocks of the entire civilization. Every residential baked mud brick followed a strict dimensional ratio of 1 to 2 to 4, measuring exactly 7 by 14 by 28 centimeters. For public buildings, they upscaled dimensions to 10 by 20 by 40 centimeters. The 1 to 2 to 4 ratio remained completely locked. These highly uniform bricks were even engineered to create an advanced network of covered drainage channels running parallel to the streets. Achieving this level of pan-regional uniformity across hundreds of miles of territory requires a strong, centralized administrative authority running strict manufacturing codes and quality control. Maintaining a highly urbanized population relies on simple economic math. If thousands of people specialize as artisans, bead makers, or builders, they cannot farm. The state must provide a massive food surplus to sustain them. The Indus Valley met this demand by aggressively exploiting the surrounding alluvial plains, cultivating vast quantities of wheat, barley, and cotton. The physical evidence of how this surplus was managed is visible in the ruins of the granaries at Harappa. Arranged in multiple precise rows, these massive storage structures were built on heavily raised platforms, a deliberate architectural choice designed to protect the communal harvest from seasonal floods. That focus on massive shared civic projects peaks with the Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro, a brick basin measuring 12 by 7 meters that likely served as a center for ritual purification. This bath functioned as a complex engineered system. It relied on a network of adjacent large wells for its water supply and utilized advanced drainage facilities to clear the basin. While other empires dedicated their masonry to tombs and thrones, Harappan monumental architecture was deeply utilitarian. The administration prioritized communal utility, sanitation, and resource storage. The Indus River system provided massive locational advantages. It allowed efficient transport of raw materials, like timber from Punjab, copper from Rajasthan, and lapis lazuli from distant mountains. They expanded their reach to the coast, engineering a massive maritime hub at the port city of Lothal. This blueprint illustrates the scale of that dockyard. The basin measured an astounding 223 meters in length, 35 meters across, and 8 meters deep, complete with a 12.3-meter-wide inlet channel to accommodate large cargo vessels. From this port, Harappan merchant ships established vast external trade routes. They utilized intermediate stations like Dilmun and Makan to run lucrative, long-distance supply chains directly into Mesopotamian cities. The Indus Valley Civilization didn't control its neighbors by conquering them with armies. They achieved regional dominance by monopolizing the logistics of maritime and overland trade. How do you regulate a sprawling, multinational trade network without a common, universally readable language? The Indus script remains entirely undeciphered today. We know it was written in a booster-fed-on style, meaning one line reads left to right, and the next reverses right to left, but the actual words are locked in time. We know they used carefully carved steatite seals, pressing them into wet clay to mark private property, brand commercial goods, and guarantee shipments. We can't read their writing, but we can read their mathematics. The definitive evidence of their regulatory power sits in their stone chert weights. This animation demonstrates the economic strictness of the Harappan market. For smaller denominations of goods, merchants used a rigid binary progression. The weights scaled flawlessly from 1 to 2, 4, 8, and upward to 64. When moving large bulk cargo, the system immediately shifted into a decimal-based structure. Heavy weights moved in multiples of 16, 160, 320, and so on. Finding this exact, perfectly uniform binary decimal system scattered across hundreds of miles of different cities provides definitive evidence of a powerful central economic regulatory body. This brings us back to the core question: who was sitting at the center of this tightly regulated system? While palaces don't exist, the ruins have yielded specialized artistic representations, like this stone bust, indicating the presence of a distinct elite class. Religious iconography, from mother goddess figurines to the horned Pashuputi seal, suggests a strong, shared spiritual framework helping bind the cities together. The academic consensus points away from a military monarchy. The civilization was most likely governed by a theocratic state or a highly coordinated class of merchants, a ruling body that prioritized civic order and uninterrupted commerce above conquest. This era of synchronized prosperity eventually fractured. Entering the localization era around 1900 BC, the central authority simply dissolved. The physical evidence of the state vanished. The writing ceased, the uniform weights were abandoned, and the complex long-distance trade networks collapsed. While early historians blamed nomadic invasions, modern archaeological evidence firmly rejects that. The end of the Indus Valley was likely driven by severe environmental shifts, major earthquakes, or changes in river courses that starved the agricultural base. The ruins they left behind remain a testament to a distinct method of human organization. The Indus Valley proves that an ancient, pan-regional superpower could be built entirely through economic integration and infrastructural planning, leaving a legacy written in standardized bricks.